This is United Network News with Sunny Galt, Helene Gipp, Kimberly Gogan, and our field messengers from around the world. Here's today's real news.
It's Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, and here are today's stories. From recovery to resilience, see how communities are rebuilding lives and homes after Hurricane Helene's devastating floods. Plus, what happened to all that waste when new buildings rise? We're digging into the construction industry's dirty secret and how some innovators are turning rubble into resources. Then, step into a world of the Maasai, where ancient traditions and a deep bond with nature continue to shape life in modern Kenya. In Nigeria, we're examining the growing struggle between wealth and want and what's being done to close the gap. And in Argentina, a healthcare crisis is pushing hospitals to the brink. We'll show you what it means for families fighting to get care. And finally, a splash of color in Spain. Discover the pink salt lakes of Torrevieja, where beauty, science, and nature come together in a stunning display.
In Marshall, North Carolina, people are rebuilding after flooding from Hurricane Helene. UNN Field Messenger Godfrey reports on the ongoing recovery and efforts to restore homes and businesses.
Hi, this is Godfrey Cavers reporting for UNN and from Marshall, North Carolina, and behind me is where they had the mutual aid distribution of food and materials for the Hurricane Helene victims. Now it's back to building nano buildings, it's called Nanostead. These people are helping people to be rehomed after Helene. Quite quiet little town. This was bought up by Star Diner and now they've turned this into a diner too. This was a diner before, but it got bought up by the Star Diner, so now they have possibly two places. Here's the courtroom, so you can see where the water came up to. See that line? That's where the water came up to, so 27 feet I think it was. And here is the French Broad River, so this has been rebuilt. This is the prison, the ex-jail, and yeah, so this is the island. So this floods quite often, but they've regrassed and there was tons of rubble here, scraping for months on end, and yeah, it's not quite finished even now. It's just flowing peacefully as if nothing had happened only a year ago. You can see that there's a cabin there that's been put there recently. All that area was flooded. But look at this, we've got the old town hall still derelict, and they're still waiting for FEMA to help them rebuild this part of Marshall. So this is the inside of Madison Natural Foods as they have rebuilt. So it's all as if it just hadn't happened. You'd never know that a hurricane had hit this area. They've been working so hard. I mean, it's unbelievable what they had to do. So this is what they did with the islands. They really built up a much steeper bank. They replanted all the grasses. So I'm just going to show you the Canada geese that come here to the island. So that is my report on Marshall. I hope you enjoyed it and see you again soon. Godfrey Cavers from UNN, Marshall, North Carolina on the 5th of September 2025, 11 months after Hurricane Helene hit Marshall.
When a new building goes up, it's easy to admire the sleek design and fresh materials, but few of us think about what gets left behind. Every construction project produces mountains of waste. Broken tiles, splintered wood, chunks of concrete, and twisted metal. In fact, the construction industry is one of the biggest waste generators on the planet, responsible for billions of tons of debris each year. So, what exactly is happening and why?
Let's start with the numbers because they're staggering. Around the world, construction and demolition waste makes up roughly 30 to 40% of all solid waste. In the United States, that's about 600 million tons of debris every single year, according to the Environmental Protection Agency. The UK government admits they produce tens of millions of tons annually, most of it from demolitions. And in China, with its rapid pace of development, construction waste is expected to keep rising for years to come. All that material, wood, concrete, glass, metal, plastic, and drywall, often ends up in dumps or landfills. Even when some of it gets recycled, it's usually downcycled, meaning it becomes something of lower value, like filler or road base, rather than reused in new buildings.
This guy thinks it's crazy how much material gets wasted in new construction.
With my background in building, I've watched 30-yard containers at the end of job sites get filled with new rolls of wire, new materials that didn't get used because nobody wants to store it or find a place to take it. It's easier just to clean up, throw it all in the landfill and walk away from it. I don't believe this is the proper way. That's why I've got out of new building and I'm working in deconstruction, trying to save the planet.
Part of the problem is the industry wasn't built with reuse in mind. Buildings are often designed as permanent fixtures rather than collections of valuable materials with a second life. Demolition is fast and cheap, and high sorting costs, limited recycling infrastructure, and outdated building codes make waste the easy option. When it's time to take a building down, there is a big difference between demolition and deconstruction. Selective demolition, removing valuable materials first, can recover doors, fixtures, steel, and even concrete for reuse or recycling. It's slower, yes, but it pays off in the long run.
Our focus is to reuse and recycle as much material as possible. So far to date, we have produced over 150,000 tons of recycled aggregate. All of these materials are generated on site from the hard breakout of concrete. They come into the yard here and go into the crushing and screening process behind me. What's going in at the far end is concrete taken from site. At the moment, it's coming in from the central reserve, goes into the crusher, it's crushed, and then goes along the belt onto the screener, where the oversized material is taken out, and material comes off the side belt, which is then reused as Type 1 subbase or Class 6N structural backfill. We have an on-site materials testing laboratory, UCAS accredited. The material is sampled by our technicians, taken to the site laboratory and tested for its physical properties. We also send it off for its chemical properties as well to ensure that it's in line with the site limits. 100% of the material that's taken from site in the form of crushed concrete and hard breakout goes through the crushing process behind me and is reused back in the scheme.
Recycling concrete, timber, and steel is great, but the real game changer is thinking about waste before a building is even built. That's where design for disassembly comes in. Basically making buildings like giant Lego sets that you can take apart, move, or reuse piece by piece. Swap glue for bolts, use modular components instead of permanent ones, and keep track of materials with digital passports. And suddenly, today's walls and floors become tomorrow's resources. Add in breaking the single-use habit, leasing lighting systems, reusing old timber, reclaiming bricks, and smarter demolition that salvages doors, steel, and other goodies before the wrecking ball comes in, and you've got a recipe for serious cutting waste. This mindset isn't just for buildings. It can be applied to all kinds of things we make and throw away.
Make this make sense for me. We've engineered rockets to go to space and land back here on Earth, but when your toaster goes out, it's cheaper for you to get a new one than it is for you to repair the old one. That's not progress, that's bad design. These bad designs are everywhere. Think about it. Your phone, it's glued shut. Your dishwasher is also likely cheaper to replace than it is to repair oftentimes, and your couch? It's built so that you can't take it apart to recycle or reuse any of the materials. Somewhere along the way, we've decided that it was normal to build things that can't be fixed, upgraded, or reused. Not because it's impossible, but because it's more profitable when you have to buy new. And it's essentially created a throwaway culture here in America. So the real question is, why don't we design for disassembly anymore? We know how, and we've done it before. Older furniture was held together with screws that you could take out. Appliances came with repair manuals and replacement parts, and even our buildings were designed to be taken apart piece by piece. It wasn't special, it was just how things were built, and it worked. Now around 80% of our electronics can't be recycled. And it's not because of the materials, it's because we've sealed, glued, and welded everything into an inseparable mess. So we're literally making trash the second we make a lot of these products.
We all have a role in changing how we use materials, whether you're an architect, a contractor, a city planner, or just someone curious about how things are made. Every piece of wood salvaged, brick reused, or wall designed to come apart instead of being demolished is a small victory against waste. Add them up, and those victories can transform entire industries.
The Maasai people of Kenya live an extraordinary life, preserving century-old traditions, unique customs, and a close connection to nature. UNN Field Messenger Rick takes us inside their remarkable culture.
Hi there, this is Rick for United Network News, and I'm here at a Maasai village here in Kenya. We're right outside of the national park.
About the dances, let me just finalize about the dances. It normally being performed by these particular people during the special occasions like wedding ceremonies, naming ceremonies of our young kids, both boys and girls. Okay. So we normally gather in one of the villages, and we can have a chance of killing more than 5 cows, and we can celebrate to eat the meat from our animals. And let me just talk a little bit about our culture. In Kenya, we have about 45 different tribes. And out of these 45 different tribes, the only tribe that still keep the culture up to now are these people called Maasai. We are proud to own this land, and we are proud to be called Maasai people. Therefore, we are nomadic people, people that practice what we call livestock. We don't grow any crops around so that we don't bring any other tribe close to us. The houses are the work of the ladies to make. It's work of the ladies to make the houses, and all the houses are not the same, depends on the families. Big family, big house. Small family, small house. Mm-hmm. And by making the houses, we don't use any items or any material from the shops or from towns. These are just local stick around from the bushes. And we have the very strong one, known as the olive one. And we have the orange croton. Orange croton is very...
We saw that.
Yeah, it's very friendly to cow dung. So we put around the walls and smearing using the cow dung so that the houses will be waterproof and warm at night. Yeah. So for us, we keep cows, goats, and sheep, and we keep them for food. Our special food, milk, blood, and meat. Also pay the dowries to our wives. We use our cows. More cows, more wives. More wives, more kids. We don't have what we call family planning. You can have a smart kid as you are blessed by God.
Okay.
And by that reason of having more kids, we have one of the specialized midwife. We can actually work on that from our own tribe.
Yeah. We're scaring the lion right now, watch. With grace, gratitude, and love, Rick Perkins, reporting for United Network News.
Tired before the day begins? NAD Plus levels drop 50% after 40. NAD Plus helps your cells bounce back fast. Most supplements give precursors. NAD Plus skips the breakdown, delivering direct, bioavailable power. Support your energy, metabolism, sleep, and stress levels at the cellular level. Join the NAD Plus revolution. Start your journey to a healthier you. Subscribe today.
Hey, I'm Kirsten from Switzerland.
This is Wayne from Tucson.
Hi, my name is Desmond from Ghana.
I am Claudia from Dawsonville, Georgia.
I'm Mikey from Pretoria, South Africa.
Hi, I'm Steve McGrath, Fort McMurray, Alberta, Canada.
People from all around the world are coming together.
Happy day, beautiful world. We are here in a rather small urban garden, and this video is just to show you the joys that we've had in this garden with the electric gardening.
When news happens in their area, they show us what's really going on.
We have people in the streets protesting for and against.
At United Network News, our field messengers are changing the face of news.
This is Field Messenger Helen reporting with Nature, and I'm going to talk to you about the bees again.
Take the next step in restoring our planet. Become a UNN Field Messenger today.
Hi, I'm Stephanie from South Africa. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
If it's going to be, it's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to me. It's up to me.
It's up to me.
It's up to all of us. We're UNN, and we're taking back the news.
Poverty is one of the biggest problems facing Nigeria today, affecting millions of people across the country. Even though Nigeria is rich in oil and natural resources, many citizens still struggle to afford basic needs like food, shelter, and education. The gap between the rich and the poor is getting wider, especially as the cost of living continues to rise. Despite being Africa's largest economy, Nigeria hosts one of the largest populations of poor people in the world. Many Nigerians lack access to clean water, proper sanitation, quality education, healthcare, and stable employment, with unemployment being a significant and widespread issue. Rural areas are hit hardest, where 72% of poor Nigerians live, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Most of these farmers often rely on small-scale farming, use outdated tools, and have no access to modern technology, credit, or irrigation systems. Poor infrastructure like bad roads and weak electricity supply keeps them isolated from larger markets. Insecurity also adds to the problem, as banditry, terrorism, and communal clashes destroy farmlands and displace families. The World Bank says more than 40% of Nigerians live below the national poverty line, surviving on less than $1.90 per day.
They were not fortunate enough to have a good start. Their mother needed to eat well to breastfeed them, but we can't afford the food that doctors recommend.
You know, Nigeria is a country of paradox, so rich, but yet poverty reigns. What Nigerians are going through now is just survival. To call yourself a poor man, I think, is a luxury in Nigeria today. All we want is to survive.
There are many reasons and responsible factors behind the poverty rate in Nigeria. Corruption and poor governance have drained public funds meant for development, weakening trust in government institutions and leaving citizens feeling neglected. This lack of trust has created a culture where corruption seems normal, and many people believe those in power rarely face consequences. The frustration from this reality has pushed young Nigerians towards protests and migration as they lose hope in the system. Poor education and limited job opportunities keep millions stuck in poverty, while rapid population growth puts more pressure on schools, hospitals, and housing. Insecurity discourages investment and destroys livelihoods, especially in conflict zones. Gender inequality is another factor. Many women have limited access to education, property, and financial opportunities. All these issues feed into one another, creating a cycle that keeps poverty high and development slow in Nigeria.
If Nigeria is so rich in resources, why are many of its states so poor? The simple answer to this question, of course, is corruption. But we've hammered on that word for far too long, and I think it's time we dive a little bit deeper into some other factors. First, take a look at this stat. 21 of Nigeria's 36 states relied on the federal government to send them money to carry out at least 80% of their usual financial obligations in 2023. That is basically relying on handouts to operate their government. But guess what these state governors do with the money once it arrives? Yeah, they build airports, giant worship centers, and other ridiculous projects, thereby raising their expenditures to crazy numbers. According to the report by Budget, the 36 states' combined spending in 2023 came to 9.78 trillion naira. Now, keep this figure in mind because it will be important to our story shortly. Well, as expected, these state governors pointed to rising capital investments, overheads, and staff costs as reason for the increase in spending. But for states generating so little money, why are they spending so much? Where do all this money go?
Poverty in Nigeria is deep and complex, but to truly reduce it, change has to start with ending corruption and giving the country a fair chance to grow. Once public funds are used honestly, investments in education, farming, and technology can create real jobs and opportunities. Building better roads, electricity, and clean water systems would help rural areas thrive, while supporting women and poorer families through fair programs could lift millions out of hardship. Argentina has been going through some big changes in its healthcare system lately, and the effects are being felt most by those who can least afford it. Deep budget cuts have stretched public hospitals and clinics to their limits, leaving doctors overworked and patients waiting longer for care. What used to be a reliable safety net for millions is now struggling to keep up, with insurance coverage shrinking, medicine shortages growing, and hospitals fighting just to stay afloat. Argentina once had a solid public health system that ensured care for those without private insurance. But in late 2023, as part of a broader austerity plan to fix the economy, President Javier Milei made deep budget cuts. Argentina's healthcare spending was cut in half, and more than 2,000 workers from the health ministry were laid off. Public hospitals are now overwhelmed. Cancer drug programs have been halted, and funding for HIV, tuberculosis, and infectious diseases treatments has been cut by 76%, according to official data. The human impact is hard to ignore. People with HIV are waiting months for medication, some of which arrives expired, while infection rates climb again. The shutdown of DADC, a program that gave free cancer and rare disease drugs to uninsured patients, has left thousands without treatment. Now, some rely on donated meds shared throughout Facebook groups, and advocacy groups say at least 60 cancer patients died last year because of the program's suspension.
Yo no elegí tener cáncer. No elegí que esta enfermedad tenerla. Y en realidad vale mucha plata. Y por más que tenga trabajo y esto no la puedo sostener, no la puedo sustentar porque vale 21 millones de pesos cada frasquito de medicación que dura un mes. Y nada, lo que esperaba era que el Estado me pueda dar una mano y el Estado nos abandonó totalmente.
Tenemos el registro de más de 60 personas fallecidas por no haber llegado a poder contar con sus medicamentos oncológicos, tratamientos que se estaban llevando adelante. Los medicamentos oncológicos en algunos casos son impagables, digamos, ¿no? O sea, son realmente muy caros.
Hay que ponerse en el lugar de la persona enferma, sea Marité o quien fuere, de saber que lo que te salva de vida no lo vas a tener más. Eso es lo perverso.
Government decisions to cut medical coverage and lift price controls have drastically impacted Argentina's healthcare. According to official data, prescription drugs are up 250%, and private insurance premiums have surged by 118%. This forces more people into public hospitals, which saw a 20 to 30% jump in demand in early 2025. Pharmacists report widespread drug shortages due to supply chain disruptions and frozen medication programs. Doctors now see nearly double the patients, yet hiring is frozen. At the country's top children's hospital, about 200 doctors quit since Milei took office, many seeking better pay abroad. With salaries losing half their value to inflation, exhausted medical staff went on strike on September 13th for 24 hours to protest healthcare cuts.
What we are protesting against is a decrease in investment in public health. There are huge budget cuts and many essential people are being laid off who are needed to keep large hospitals running. Hospitals that depend on national funding, such as Garahan Hospital, El Cruce Hospital, Posadas Hospital, which are all highly complex hospitals that receive people from all over the country, and they are facing a very serious budget crisis.
Even experts who thought Argentina's health system needed fixing say the government's cuts came way too fast and hit too hard. There's a real concern the measures could worsen public health far beyond what was expected from poverty and inflation alone. The government says it's just cutting waste, but for most Argentines, it feels like their basic right to health care is slipping away.
UNN Field Messenger Emma takes us to Spain's breathtaking Torrevieja salt lakes, famous for their vibrant pink waters, mineral-rich black clay, and diverse wildlife. These natural wonders offer stunning views and unique health benefits.
Hi, my name is Emma. I'm a field messenger for UNN, reporting from Torrevieja in Spain, in Europe. This report is going to be one of the natural wonders of the world, the Torrevieja salt lakes. These lakes are often called a natural wonder on the Spanish coast. They are also known as Las Salinas de Torrevieja. These two large lagoons produce more than 600,000 tons of salt each year and are known for their striking pink and green colors. The pink lake, Laguna Rosa, is the most famous and is particularly vibrant during the hot summer months. The lakes are free to visit and offers unique and picturesque setting for photography and exploration. They are part of the Parque Natural from La Mata and Torrevieja. It's a protected natural park that supports a variety of wildlife, including several species of birds and flamingos. The lakes are one of the most unusual natural attractions in Spain. The Pink Lake is what most visitors come to see, as the pink hue almost looks unreal in person. You can take some amazing pictures. The best time to visit the salt lakes are during the hot summer months in July and August. This is when the Pink Lake is at its most pink, when higher temperatures and increased evaporation intensifies this color. But it maintains its unique pink shades all year round, just slightly less vibrant in the winter. So what about swimming in the Torrevieja salt lakes? Well, swimming in the lakes is strictly prohibited. and you can be fined up to 6,000 euros or $700 if you're caught. However, the people that I filmed were strictly not swimming, and they did stay behind the poles that are marked as the border of the restricted area. I also noticed a man who found some black clay that he put around his joints. So the therapeutic properties of black clay works primarily by promoting blood flow and circulation in the applied area, which can help reveal sensations like numbness, muscle tension, stiffness. It's very rich in minerals, and it supports the tissue recovering after anti-inflammatory and muscle relaxing effects similar to natural healing clay. Overall, the black clay is natural, it's super mineral rich, and it's a remedy that supports and soothes pain. So this was an interesting visit. On my way back to the airport, we passed by the large salt piles of harvested salt from the lake. The salt is then transported to private port facilities and loaded into vessels capable of accommodating ships up to 40,000 tons. So this is an enormous industry. This is also known for the wonders of the world, for the amount of salt and for the colors of the lake. Well, I hope you liked the report. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye.
Are you ready to change the world? Take the next step and join our weekly Field Messenger meetings. Learn more at unitednetwork.earth. I am United Network News, and so are you.